especially if no one believed they'd both been in danger. Robert Boyd had begun pestering Maggie a month ago and, despite her rejection, had kept it up. Earlier today, when he'd arrived unannounced at Olivewood, he'd become more than a nuisance. He'd tried to touch her, had made a grab for her arm. Maggie had snatched herself away. Hands on hips, she'd faced him at the foot of the veranda steps. "Mr. Boyd, I have said before today, and very politely, that I am not interested in your attention or your company." She squared her shoulders. "Even if you were not married. Yet still, you have persisted, unwelcome, uninvited, and now you dare lay your hand on my person. Go away." He had mimicked her hand on hips. "Ain't you the feisty one? Nice and built well, too, taking a man's eye." His gaze settled on her chest a moment before he grinned at her. "All that mussy black hair tied up tight, and them big blue inviting eyes. Can always tell the ones that have already lifted their skirt. Got a certain look about 'em." Maggie's mouth had dropped open. How could he possibly know any such a thing? And how dare he say so anyway? No one knew what had happened between her and Sam, her old beau from back home. No one. Sam. Lately he'd popped into her head at the most inopportune moments, and she just wanted to reach over and ruffle his thatch of blonde hair and see the mischievous grin once more. Boyd hadn't known about anything to do with Sam. Of course not. He was just being his vile self. "See? I was right. That look on your face gives you away." He gave a derisive snort. "It's hard, all right. I'll get what I've come for. All your fancy blathering about rights and such mean nothing to me." He looked around with an exaggerated swivel of his head. "It looks like there's no one here to stop me." "I'll stop you!" she cried, the blaze of anger streaking her cheeks. Maggie was strong, but she knew she'd be no match for him. Her heart thumped hard. It's broad daylight, for God's sake. How could he even think he'd get...
"I don't think you'll be able to stop me."
He'd taken a step towards her.
"Now, I've been nice, and you shouldn't keep knocking me back, playing me. So I'm just going to take what I want."
"Get away from me!" she ordered at the top of her voice and backed up the steps, scuttling to the front door.
"You're a neat little piece, ain't you? Little thing like you won't be too much trouble."
He was on the veranda in 2 strides. "I'm no little thing," she shouted. "I'll defend myself." Behind her back, her hand had found the door latch. She well knew there was no one around to help. The Chaffees had gone to visit another family across the river. Boyd barked out a laugh.
"Defend yourself, will ya? Now that is funny. Might be nice inside this big house. What do you say?"
Nara, one of the housemaids, had appeared in a rush from the side of the house, her feet thudding loudly. She'd stopped, her eyes wide, a forge tool, an iron pickup rod, in her hand. Boyd flicked his hand at her.
"And there's another little thing. Get! Before I bash you like I did your bloody kin."
He snarled. Ignoring that, Nara crept forwards, her glare fixed on him. "Nara! Get away!" Maggie rasped. "Run!" But Nara came closer still, risking capture, daring capture. She got within his easy reach, then sent the rod slithering across the boards to Maggie before she turned to run off the veranda. Boyd grabbed Nara, threw her over his shoulder, and loped across the dusty concourse towards the rows of older trees near the stable. Nara yelled and kicked and writhed, and then he'd tossed her to the dirt. Maggie had snatched up the heavy rod and darted from the veranda. Boyd had already dropped his weight on Nara, and she pounded him with her fists, then gouged at his eyes. He brushed her off with one hand, fumbled with his flies, and shoved his pants open. As he pushed Nara's dress up and thrusted, Maggie let out an enraged cry, and still...